plants like croton or maple, yeah, or colocasia, etc. These are some of the plants whose leaves are colorful. They could be red, they could be brown, they could be violet, as you can see in the image. So
Yes, sir.
these colors are present in large amounts and mask the green color of chlorophyll. What it does, it masks the green color of chlorophyll because they are present in abundance here, as you can see over here. The violet color, the yellowish color, all it in the brownish color. So they are
Yes, sir.
basically masking the green color of chlorophyll in the leaves. So thus these leaves here, they are also able to perform photosynthesis. They also
Mhm.
perform photosynthesis and they also synthesizes starch in them. Like the rest of the leaves, they will also be performing photosynthesis, right? So basically, chlorophyll is there, but other pigments are masking over them. You understand now? It's a layer of
Yes,
other
sir.
pigments over the chlorophyll. Hence, we don't get to see the green color, but it is present there. Okay.
Ah.
Now, like how the synthesis of plant food takes place other than carbohydrates. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know
Yes,
that
sir.
the starch or glucose is the simplest form of carbohydrate that is synthesized by the plants, right? We
Sir.
know
Yes, sir.
we know that starch is the carbohydrate which is the simplest type of carbohydrate which is synthesized by the plants. And this starch, it is composed of like carbon, hydrogen and oxygen से ये बना है, right? No,
Yes, sir.
so it is made up of carbon plus hydrogen plus oxygen. Okay. Now, sometimes these simplest form of carbohydrates, they will be utilized to synthesize other nutrients. What happens, कभी कभी क्या होता है कि ये जो हमारे
Mm.
simplest form है compounds के like starch, इनको further plants synthesize करते हैं and sometimes it is stored as fats. Sometimes this will be synthesized as fats. Sometimes it will be synthesized as protein. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
right now. So it's not only starch, like it's not only the starch that the plants store the food as, but further starch can be synthesized into proteins, into fats, into vitamins, etc. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
So, like for example, if I were to talk about wheat or rice,
Mm.
foods like wheat or rice, these are the foods which are rich in what? These are rich in starch now.
Yes, sir.
They are rich in starch, right? Sometimes we get to see like you get to see the seeds of several plants from which oil is extracted. Yeah.
Yes,
For
sir.
example, you have groundnut, okay, in which
Mm-hmm.
fat is present. You have almonds also, okay. You have oil seeds also, right, Yasin? So there the
Yes,
plants are synthesizing the carbohydrate as fats now,
fats.
right? Then you have got cereals, okay, where the food is synthesized as protein, right? No,
Mm-hmm.
okay, हम
Yes.
कहते हैं कि दाल में ज्यादा प्रोटीन होता है, right? No,
हाँ.
so this is this is how the food is synthesized in the plants in different forms. Also, the food that is prepared by the plant, it is getting stored in different parts of the plant now. Like it could be underground root, underground stem also.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. Can you quote some example of underground stems?
Underground stems.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, potatoes.
That was good.
Uh, Sir, I'm not getting any other. There
What about
is,
ginger?
yeah, ginger, carrots.
No, carrot is not a underground stem.
Carrot is a root. Carrot is a root.
Carrot is a root. Now, what type of root it is?
It is the roots.
Fibrous root or the main root?
It is the fibrous root.
It is the
It's
fibrous
not.
root. But fibrous roots are found in grasses now. Mainly
Oh
grasses
yeah.
में देखने को मिलते हैं ना. right?
Huh.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a main root.
So it's a main root now.
In
It's a
school right now we are
Mhm.
learning the reproduction of plant, and then
Mm.
ये टीचर ने क्या करा, उनने वो कैरेट लेके वो
Mhm.
पानी में डाल के, सॉइल में डाल के हम लोग उसको उगा रहे, तो वो हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि वो उग रहा है
Mhm.
प्लांट.
Exactly. You will be observing that. Basically, we study that roots are also of two types. If you were to pluck out some grasses from the ground, their roots will be like this. वो बहुत ही fibrous होंगे nature में, है ना? It will
Yes
be
sir.
very much fibrous in nature. If I were to uproot a radish plant or carrot plant, so there I will be seeing that their root will be like this, and then there are several tiny roots arising from them. जब भी हम carrot purchase करते हैं market से or from a store, we get to see that there are so many tiny root hairs attached to the carrot now.
Yes sir.
So this is the main root that we eat. So the basically the thing here is that the food prepared by in the green leaves can either be stored in the leaves, can either be stored in the underground stems, in the roots
Mm-hmm.
as well, or in some cases in the stem also. Right now,
Yes sir.
like you have the sugar cane. Getting so this
Yes
is all
sir.
about that. Okay, and also this was an activity to learn about chlorophyll. So what we did here, we have taken some green leaves from a plant like tulsi or a spinach. Okay, now smear these leaves on a dry white sheet of paper. The smeared leaves behind a green mark on the paper. Smearing means what? Crushing them, crushing them, crushing them. Okay, so the smeared leaves will leave a green mark on this paper. So you have got a green mark over the paper. Now this green mark is from chlorophyll that is present in the leaves. Obviously वो green mark इसलिए क्योंकि chlorophyll pigment की वजह से वो mark आ रहा है. Now take some
Yes
green
sir.
leaves from soft plants, soak them in a water in a bowl. हमने तीन एक्टिविटी के जरिए यहाँ पे देखना है. Why these three activities? We will get to see that how we see the presence of chlorophyll in the leaves. Now in the second
Mm-hmm.
case, we have taken some green leaves from soft plants.
Mm-hmm.
We will soak them in water in a bowl. Now keep them in a water for a day. Now look for the
Yes
color
sir.
of the water. Water remains colorless. Okay. Now
Mm-hmm.
further, green color from the leaves does not come out in water. So what does it shows that chlorophyll is not soluble in water, right?
Yes sir.
So that
Yes
is
sir.
another fact about chlorophyll. Third thing is that when we will do the same experiment with an alcoholic solution, we will get to see that the color is lost. See, please read the third paragraph here, third point.
Take some green leaves and boil them in water for about 3 to 5 minutes. Transfer the boiled leaves to another bowl with spirit alcohol. Observe the leaves and the color of the spirit after some time. Chlorophyll comes out of the green cells with the leaves into spirit, leaving behind colorless leaf. The color of the spirit becomes pale green. This shows that chlorophyll is soluble in alcohol.
Right? Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
now we know that when we were to put that boiled leaf in the alcoholic solution, the chlorophyll will come out of the cell and hence it dissolves in the alcoholic solution. So three facts we know about chlorophyll. First of all, the green leaf, the green color, it is because of this. Second thing, that chlorophyll is not soluble in water. The third thing is that it is rather soluble in the alcoholic solution. Getting it now?
Yes, sir.
So these are the three things we now know about it, right? Now,
Yes, sir.
talking about the underground stems, you have examples of mm, you have example of potato, sweet potato is also there,
Potato and ginger.
ginger is also there, right? These are some of the examples that we have. Okay.
Oh.
And in fact, in further, you will get to know in more detail like how vegetative propagation is done in reproduction of plants. There is a topic vegetative propagation, how we can grow a new plant from the existing plant without using the seed of that plant. Right now,
Yes,
like
sir.
normally how potato is grown, basically you cut potato into several pieces ensuring that each piece has got an eye on it, right? एक potato को हम several pieces में cut करते हैं and we
Mm-hmm.
ensure that every piece has got an eye on it. Normally
Mm-hmm.
potato जब हम observe करते हैं एक इस तरह का structure होता है उनमें, like this. See this. Okay,
Huh.
it looks a little bit curved. So, and then you have some examples where you can simply cut a stem of the plant. Okay, bury it in the ground, and new plant will come out of it, right? Okay. Also, has this topic been started in your school about the vegetative propagation?
Huh, sir? Sorry.
Has the topic vegetative propagation started in your school right now or not?
No, sir.
Not yet. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
When it will be discussed, you will also get to know like new plants can be grown from the leaves also. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Like now nutrition. What about the nutrition in those plants that does not have chlorophyll in them? Yeah. So
Heterotrophic.
here we come to these type of plants, right? Now, pitcher plants, Venus flytrap plants, or the Rafflesia plant, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. By the way, which is the biggest and largest flower in the world? Any idea?
Sir, I forgot the name, but it's a parasitic plant.
We have the image of that plant over here,
Yes, sir. I can see it.
right? That is Rafflesia. Right now, so Rafflesia is a parasitic flowering plant. It's a flowering plant found in only some countries like in Malaysia or in Thailand or Indonesia
Sir, it's in
and in the
sir,
Philippines.
it's a cascata. It's a cascata.
Cascata is also one example of that. The one which you are seeing over here, that is an
Okay.
example of cascata right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. So first of all, those plants that does not have chlorophyll in them will have other modes of nutrition in them, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
because they cannot prepare their own food, hence they have developed um, uh, other modes of obtaining food, and sometimes it is similar to those of certain animals also. Like you have got parasitic animals also, you have got
Yes, sir.
insectivorous animals also, like some animals
Yes, sir.
like reptiles like lizard, they feed upon insects. Then you have insectivorous plants as well. Getting it now?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Then you have like symbiotic relationship between some aquatic fishes also. हम देखते हैं कि whales की body पे बहुत सारी algae की growth होती है. There are so many parasitic organisms growing on their
Sir,
body.
lichen,
Al-
lichen.
Yeah, lichen is also one example.
It
Okay,
is a mixture of fungi and algae.
algae exactly, where both of them are being benefited, right? Then you have example of saprotrophic plants also, right? Now, which
Yes, sir.
are basically taking nutrients from the dead and decaying matter, right? So these are the
Yes, sir.
things we will now be discussing. Now, the one question which you are seeing over here, which symbiotic plant is an indicator of pollution?
Indicator of pollution. Sir,
Hmm, like,
only
mhm,
in my reader and school, there only one
mhm,
example has been taught, that is lichen.
hmm. In fact, that is the example. That is the answer to this question. Okay, now.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. All right. Okay, now a simple question before we start discussing about heterotrophic plants. In absence of which of the following will photosynthesis not occur in the leaves? First,
In
guard cell.
absence,
Second, chlorophyll. Third, vacuole. Fourth, space between the cells.
sir, it's the guard cells.
It's a
Wait, sir,
guard
can you
cells.
write down the options? Can you write down the
Let me,
options?
yeah, that
Thank
will
you.
be better. In absence of which of these photosynthesis will not take place? Guard cells. Second is chlorophyll. third is vacuole, and the fourth is space B/W, that means between cells. Yes, what do you think?
Sir, actually, I think without all of them, photosynthesis wouldn't be possible. But then mainly it's chlorophyll. Like if there was no
Hmm.
presence of guard cells, vacuole, and the space between the cells, there
Hmm.
would be some possibility of photosynthesis by chlorophyll. It is the main source of photosynthesis.
Exactly, exactly. The main reason for here is this chlorophyll.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right then. So let's start discussing about these type of heterotrophic plants. So first of all, you have got this parasitic plant, right?
Yes, sir.
By the way, there are some parasites on our body also. Huh? What are
Oh,
some parasites in our body? What do you think? Are there some
uh,
parasites living?
um, is it like our organs?
How come our organs be parasite?
No, 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 no. I was just
Huh?
thinking.
No.
Um, I don't know, sir.
Mhm. Look here.
Is it like around us or like on our body or what?
It could be inside our body also. It could be on our
Yes.
body also.
Sir,
Okay.
veins?
Veins. Acha, first of all, define to me what do you understand by parasite?
Sir, parasite plants are the plants that are dependent on the host plant by the other plants for their growth.
Okay. What about just the term parasite? What does the term simply parasite mean?
Sir, that they are like they don't have chlorophyll and they are dependent on like another plant.
Yeah. Parasites could
Lives
be
on
plants
another,
also, they
it
could be
lives in
animals
another
also.
organism. It lives in another organism, living
Exactly.
organism,
It does not
and
necessarily
derives
have
food.
to be a plant. Hmm. Right.
Yes, yes, sir.
Look, if we were to talk about humans now, humans
Yes.
are hosts to as many as 300 species of parasitic worms and 70 species of protozoa. मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ हमारे ह्यूमन बॉडी पे ओके
Uh-huh.
देर आर ऑलमोस्ट 300 डिफरेंट स्पीसीज ऑफ पैरासाइटिक वॉर्म्स जो हमारे बॉडी में
Worm.
पाए जा या वॉर्म्स 300 डिफरेंट species of parasitic worms. I'm not saying that all of them are present at the same time in a body, but humans body में 300 different species होते हैं worms के जो पाए जा सकते हैं. Okay. Then you have got other disease causing organisms like protozoans होते हैं. Okay. As many as 70 different species of protozoans can be found in the human body जो disease create करते हैं. Now,
Yes, sir.
parasites, as you know, these are the organisms that live on or in a living host. मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ? I am saying कि हमारे body के ऊपर वो survive करते हैं and they can be inside our body as well. Okay, and they are
Okay.
getting the food from our body, right?
Okay, sir.
And then we get to know like हमारे human body के ऊपर parasites के भी 3 different types होते हैं, right now. So there you don't go into detail. Just know some of the parasites found inside the human body. They are roundworms or hookworms and tapeworms. What did I just
Ye-
said? Make a section over
Um,
here. Mhm.
um,
Parasites in human.
worms, sir.
Roundworm.
Uh, worm. Wait, sir, can I write this down?
Yeah, sure. Roundworm. Roundworm, tapeworm, and hookworm. Yeah, do let me know when you are done writing these things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yes, sir, I'm done.
Okay. So that is about the parasites that are found in the human body. Can you think of one example that is a parasite that is found on the human body, not inside the human body? Huh? Yes. Think of one parasite that is found in the human body, on the human body, and basically sucks the blood. Hmm.
Sir, mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
Yes,
But the
sir.
thing about uh, it is that parasites are always present. Usually हम देखते हैं कि parasites should always be present in the human body.
Uh,
That is present like 24 hours.
mm,
Mhm.
Sir, I don't know.
It is
I
found
have
in the
no
head.
idea.
It is found in the head.
Sir, lice.
Lies. Right. So that is one of the
Yes.
example that is found in the on the human head. Okay. So parasites भी दो type के होंगे. They will be endoparasites, which are found inside the human body, and then there are exoparasites that are found on the body. Getting it now?
Yes.
Okay, then let's continue our discussion. So we were talking about the parasitic plants. So a
Yes.
parasitic plant is one that lies inside or outside the other plants and then derives its nutrient or food from them. That is the definition of it. So parasites, they are basically non-green plants, okay, which obtains their food from other organisms, and hence we are calling them as a parasite. Okay, and they
Yes.
can be the body from which they are obtaining nutrition. What do we call them?
Sorry,
The
sir. One
body
minute.
from
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
the body from which the parasites obtain their nutrition. What do we call them as?
Host.
Host, right? So the body on which the parasitic organism feeds upon, that is called as host. Okay. So you have an example of this cascada that is also called as amarbeil.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So shall I write the definitions or will you be able to write the definitions on your own?
Sir, it's in my reader, so I will be able to write it on my own.
Okay, okay. That will be better in fact. Okay. So it is basically taking the ready-made food from the host through, if I were to talk about this cascada plant. Cascada plant has got um, the roots which are sucking in nature. Okay. So
Yes,
basically
sir.
cascada plant के जो roots होते हैं, they are sucking in nature and they can actually penetrate into the host body and thereby suck the food material from the host. So इनके roots क्या करते हैं? They will basically penetrate into the body of the host plant and from there it will basically obtain the food. So fact about this is that the
Yes.
cascada has got penetrating roots that sucks the material from host plant. Okay, so that's all you
Sir,
need to
it
know about the
also
parasitic plant.
twines.
Hmm.
It twines around the host and suck all the food.
Hmm. Yeah, as we can see here in the in the image now, like how it has twined itself around the plant, how it does entangle itself around the plant and getting the nutrition from the main plant, right? Okay,
Yes.
and cascada, if you were to study further study about cascada now, like there are several species of this cascada only also, right? There are
Yes, sir.
somewhere around 200 species of this cascada. हम normally देखते हैं this cascada को, but इसके बहुत सारे species होते हैं, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we come to the next type of plant, that is an insectivorous plant. Okay.
Insectivorous plant.
Now, we know that plants require different types of nutrients from the soil. Okay, that is fulfilled by the help of fertilizers and manures. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Acha, which one is more fertile? Which one has got more nutrients in it? Is it fertilizers or is it manures?
Sir, the 1 minute.
Hmm.
Sir, the manures are like the decomposed matter, and
Hmm.
the fertilizers have nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium present in them. So I
The
think
main
the
component, that is the main component present in
yes, sir. So
it.
I think nitrogen is more nutritious for the plants than manures.
Nitrogen, which you are quoting here, nitrogen is one of the nutrient present in fertilizer. Here, the
Yes, sir.
comparison is between fertilizer and the manure. The manure are the fertilizers are more rich in nutrients, while the manure consists of lesser amount of nutrients in it. Also, there's not all the nutrients are present in the manures. So obviously, fertilizer is better, right? But then
Yes,
there's a disadvantage of using fertilizer on the ground also. That is, it kills the humus in the soil. You know what is
yes.
humus? Humus is what?
Sir, I I don't know. It's mentioned in my reader, but I don't know.
Humus is basically what? Look, when we take a sample of soil or when we observe a moist soil, okay, in your garden, when you will observe the moist soil, we observe that several types of insects are living there. Several types of worms are also living inside the soil. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
there are
So,
termites. Sometimes termites can also be sometimes seen in the soil. If a
yes,
plant
sir.
is rotting, termites can be seen, and then you can
Yes,
see the earthworms. You can see several insects also living inside the soil. Beetles can be found living inside the soil, and then
yes,
there are those class of organisms that can't be seen by our naked eyes. That is the microorganisms. They are also found in the soil, right?
yes,
So these are the organic organic things found in the soil, right? Apart from that,
yes, sir.
why a soil looks dark brown in color? Because you have dead and decaying substance from the insects, from the worms that dies in the soil. So that
Yes,
when they start to decompose, that gives the dark brown color to the soil. So इसे ही हम humus कहते हैं. Okay, तहसीन.
yes,
The dead and decaying component, along with the living component found in the soil, is called as humus. And actually, humus is quite good for the soil because humus increases the fertility of the soil. ठीक है, क्योंकि
ठीक है.
डिकम्पोजिशन की वजह से प्लांट्स को न्यूट्रिएंट्स मिल रही हैं जब ये सेम एनिमल्स ऑर्गेनिज्म डिकम्पोज कर रहे हैं, right? And fertilizer
Yes,
is most preferably used because it consists of a wide variety of the nutrients required by the plants. Now here the main discussion of in regard to insectivorous plant here is that, look, there are some plants now which grows in such an environment where nitrogen is not found in sufficient amount in the soil. Also the plants does not absorbs the nitrogen via
yes,
their
sir.
roots. Okay, so we know that our body also consists of nitrogenous compound. Basically, animals की body में nitrogenous compounds पाए जाते हैं, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
that when the animals dies, when they are buried in the soil, okay, or when their body decomposes in the soil, so whatever nitrogenous compounds are locked in their body, that goes into the soil. Okay, so look here,
Yes, sir.
how insectivorous plant fulfills their need for the nitrogen is by eating the insects.
Insect.
Yes, right, because insects के body में nitrogenous compounds होते हैं, right? We know that the main component required by any plant is NPK. N stands for,
Huh, sir?
N here stands for,
Um, the N stands for nitrogen.
hmm,
Um, The P stands for phosphorus,
Hmm.
and
Good.
and there is potassium,
Hmm.
and
K
I
stands
don't know
for
what the K stands
potassium.
for.
K
Oh, okay,
here
the K.
stands for potassium. Okay.
Okay.
These are actually the symbols. ये different elements हैं. These are the
Hmm.
nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. They are represented by some symbols. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So out of these, the soil lacks this thing. Okay. So thereby the need is being fulfilled by eating insects.
Yes, sir.
And now some of the bigger picture plant, they can eat not just insect, but they can eat rats as well. Okay, they can
Yes, sir.
eat the small rats as well. Okay,
Yes.
so basically when we see this plant now, they have got a peculiar structure in them. Look over here, this peculiar structure that you see, this is called as feature. Actually, this is actually called a feature. So what
Teacher.
basically happens, the inner walls of this feature plant, it is enriched with sticky substances. Sticky enzymes are present on the walls of the inner surface of this feature, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happened, and also it has it has got a lid on top of it. Okay, so what happens now, this lid also has got some very juicy and sweet enzyme falling from it. So basically यहाँ पे जो surface है, inner surface है pitcher का, it has got juicy substance on it, so thereby insects will come to feed on it, right now. So
Yes, sir.
whenever an insect comes in contact, whenever an
So,
insect will
sir,
sit in.
inside if they go inside this, they
Mhm.
get stuck in the inner walls of the plant, and then they close the lid, and then
Hmm.
they eat it. Okay.
Exactly. So what basically happens, जब भी whenever an insect will go inside it, first of all, they will be entangled into the juicy substance in it. Also, there are hairs present inside this picture. There are hairs present inside this. So
Yes, sir.
due to that also, the insects will be entangled. Okay. So now, so now what will happen? This lid will close, and hence the digestive enzymes present inside this pitcher will start slowly digesting the body of that insect. So in this manner, the plant will be taking up the nitrogen from the body of this plant. Getting it now?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And actually नाइट्रोजन इनके बॉडी में जो प्रेजेंट होता है वो किस फॉर्म में प्रेजेंट होता है? It is actually present in the form of amino acids. Okay.
Yes, sir.
हमारे बॉडी में it's not like nitrogen exists independently. It is in the form of amino acids.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Not just in our body but also in the body of insects. So that is all about the insectivorous plant, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the reason why we have categorized them as um, heterotrophic is because they since they can't synthesize their own food, but they have to fulfill their nitrogen deficiency by eating the insects, therefore they are called as heterotrophs. बट इन्हें सिर्फ अपनी नाइट्रोजन डेफिशिएंसी को फुलफिल करने के लिए इंसेक्ट्स ईट करना पड़ रहा है. सो they are neither complete heterotrophic in nature, neither complete autotrophic in nature. So
Yes,
we
sir.
call them as partial heterotrophs. What do we call them as?
Partial heterotrophs.
Hmm. And why
Sir,
is that so?
they have
Mhm.
chlorophyll present in them.
Yeah, they have
Ah,
right now.
yes, sir.
They have chlorophyll present in them, but since they can't take the roots, synthesize nitrogen,
Sir, all
so
plants
they
need the nitrogen, even autotrophs.
yeah, all the plant needs nitrogen. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are the main nutrients required by any type of plant. Okay.
So, sir, if is it like
Mhm.
needed for the process of photosynthesis?
No, it is not mainly required for the process of photosynthesis, but to carry out other functions, it is required. Okay, now.
So, like, can it live without the nitrogen?
No, it can't live without the nutrition. Without the nitrogen, it can't live. Okay,
Yeah,
like
like we
basically,
can live without
uh-huh.
food, like that.
Yeah, like that. Okay, like in food also, there are several components required by our body. Like in a balanced diet, we ensure that we get each component in at least some small quantity, right? So in that manner, you can understand it like this also. The plant also requires a little bit of everything in order to perform well. Getting it now? So they are called as partial heterotrophs since they can't synthesize their own food, but fulfill their nitrogen deficiency by eating the insects. In some cases, we get to see that they can be eating rats also. Okay, so this is all
Yes,
about them, right? Now we have got another type of plant that is growing here. Okay, what do we call this?
mold.
Bread mold. Bread
Yes,
mold is
sir.
basically due to what? Is it due to fungus?
Yes, sir.
Right now.
It's
Hmm.
decaying and dead components.
Exactly, exactly.
So
So
this is,
sapro,
sir, this is a saprophyte plant.
exactly. This is a saprotrophic plant. Now, simply saprotrophic plants are those plants so in which we get to see that the mode of nutrition is such that they will be taking their nutrients from the dead and decaying matter, and hence the nutrition is called as saprotrophic nutrition. Okay.
We
Now the
can also
plants
call saprophyte, like the
we
sapro. We can call it saprophytes. Saprophytes.
yeah, we can call them saprophytes as well.
It,
Okay.
that's how it's mentioned in my reader.
We can call them as saprophytes, also saprophytic plants, or simply you can call them as saprotrophs as well. Okay, now both are basically referred to the same thing. So the mushroom that you eat, what is it? Is it a plant? Is it a green plant? Or is it a saprotrophic plant? The mushroom, the mushroom
Sir, it's a
actually it is a
saprophytic
fungus.
plant.
Exactly.
It's a decomponent. It's like a decaying plant.
Not decaying, it basically grows on the decaying matter.
Decaying plant. It has to eat the molds and all the dead plants, like that.
Not specifically the molds. Basically, it grows on the dead and decaying components. Right now,
Okay.
basically, if you were to see a log of wood lying in the forest, which has got some moisture in it, so on that you will get to see that several mushrooms are growing. But then mushrooms के भी बहुत सारे species होते हैं. Not all of them are eatable, right? Some of them are eatable, which are grown right now. Okay, so like that, that is basically mushrooms. So mushrooms, they are basically a type of fungus. So we are basically eating fungus now. The edible mushrooms actually they are basically a fungus, right? Okay, so that is all about this fungus. So we say that the mode of nutrition in which plants obtain their food by feeding on dead and decaying matter. What are some examples? Yes, Tasin? You have examples of
Mushroom,
this?
molds, and
Hmm.
bacteria.
Bacteria? Why you are fitting bacteria into this?
No, like sir, the bad bacteria, the bad
Here we are
ones.
talking about plants now. We are talking about plants now. So we need to quote in context of saprotrophic plants only now.
Sir,
So
but actually in my reader it's written like bacteria. So like in our exam also we had to write bacteria. So that's why I said it.
bacteria.
Yes, sir. I can show it to you if you want.
Okay, okay. So bread mold is there, mushroom is there. Interestingly, there is one more thing, yeast. So you might have used
Sir,
yeast powder.
it's here the bacteria here.
It's here. Okay, is the name of the bacteria also mentioned over here?
Mm, no, sir, it's not. It just showed bacteria.
Acha. Okay, no issue. Okay, I will discuss that in the next class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you have bread mold, you have mushroom, you have yeast. Now, yeast, it is actually a good thing. You know why yeast is actually a good thing? Because we use yeast in bakeries. Yeast powder हम use करते हैं bakeries में. Yeah. Basically, what happens now?
Yes, sir.
Yeast powder.
We use it for baking and all. But
Exactly.
then, sir, what is yeast? Like my sister told, it's like organism, but I have no idea. Like,
Yeast is actually a microscopic organism, and it is basically a type of fungus. ये एक fungus का type होता है, right now.
so
So
like,
it
is
has
it
been
good
considered.
for us, like it, or it's like bad for us?
Look, we have learned to utilize it in a good manner. Okay, but then there are always like um some bad things associated with yeast also. But the good part about the yeast is that we actually utilize it in bakeries basically. So some of the things about yeast powder is that, look, what happens now when you add yeast powder with the flour, for example. Thereby, what happens? You will just add a tiny bit of yeast powder in the flour. What happens when you provide water to the flour and you provide some warmth to the flour? So जब इसे moisture मिलता है and जब इसे warmth मिलती है, so thereby yeast powder starts multiplying. इसमें क्या होता है? yeast जो present होता है yeast powder में, it starts to multiply. Basically reproduction होने लगता है. Getting it now? So in that process, also what happens? They start to feed on the flour. ये flour को eat करना शुरू करते हैं. Thereby they start to release a gas that is called as carbon dioxide. All right now. So basically, when
Yes,
we
sir.
add yeast powder in the flour, after some time we get to see that it expands now. It becomes fluffy, it becomes soft, and it expands.
Yes, sir. Like the
Right?
pizza or a donut batter,
Exactly,
like the
exactly.
dough.
Why they exactly why they are fluffy? Why they are soft? Because of the yeast powder. Why they are soft? Become soft because this carbon dioxide gas will try to come out of the flour now. Basically, ये बाहर निकलना चाहेगा. So thereby it will basically create spaces and hence it expands. So there it is used. Okay, and it
Yes.
is actually not harmful for the human body if used in that manner, if not taken in basically raw form, but if it is added into some food and then consumed. So yeah, it is actually usable. So that is about yeast. Okay.
Yes,
Also,
sir.
the plants that are saprophytic in nature, they are called as saprotrophs. Okay, so it's time to take some questions now. Okay, now
I have to
question here is
answer the
that,
question.
yeah, you have to answer the question. First
Okay,
question
sir.
is that Pisha plant they trap insect because first reason is it is a heterotroph. Let's move to this one. First reason, listen to the question. Question is that
Yes.
Pisha plant they trap insect because it is a heterotroph. Second reason, it grows in soil which
Sir,
lacks
you give
nitrogen.
options or like you're
I'm
asking
giving
a
options. I'm giving options.
uh,
I'm giving options. Or third reason is that they don't have chlorophyll. They do not have chlorophyll. Or the fourth reason is that they have a digestive system like that of human beings. Their digestive system is similar to that of humans. Shall I repeat the question?
no sir, I know.
Hmm.
Do I also have to explain like
Yeah, you
how?
have to explain it as well.
Okay, sir, so I think it is option two. It lacks
Hmm.
nitrogen because it has chlorophyll present in them, but they can't synthesize the
Hmm.
the food. So they need nitrogen for the nutrients to keep themselves to grow.
Hmm. Exactly. So Pisha plant they grows in a soil which is deficient in nitrogen.
So
Pisha
even
plant,
the fly trap we can use as an example.
yeah, for that also you can quote the same. You can put it under the same definition. Okay.
Mhm.
So Pisha plant that grows in a soil which is deficient in nitrogen. Further, Pisha plants they can carry out photosynthesis to produce the same food that is carbohydrates. But for nitrogen, but for nitrogen source, it will be trapping and then digesting the insects. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
that's it. That's all for today. In the next class, we will be covering the another type of relation. So that will be a symbiotic relationships right now, where we will be
Okay.
get to seeing that the two organisms are either benefiting from it. In some cases, they might not be getting benefited that much as well. Okay, now. All right, so
Yes.
that's it for today. Allah Hafiz then Tahsin.
Allah Hafiz, sir. Sir,
By the
are
way,
you?
how your exam went?
Sir, my exam will be coming next week.
Okay. Tahsin, you were saying something.
Yeah, sir. Are you gonna be taking tests for this chapter?
Yeah. When the chapter will end, I will be taking test.
Yeah.
Okay, the
Okay,
test
sir.
will be in the class itself. Okay.
Okay, sir. Allah Hafiz.
All right then. Allah Hafiz. Yes, Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Okay. So how you spent your holidays? Like we are meeting almost after like 3 days, I think. Hmm. Acha. Okay. Yeah, Arhan. Assalamu alaikum. So guys, we were talking about we did took some questions from the chapter mensuration and from square and square roots as well. Okay. From the chapter mensuration, some of the questions were left to be discussed, right? Like the exercise 21.4. Okay, we were discussing questions from that exercise. Okay, and then in the another exercise, there were some questions from cylinders also. Okay, so we haven't discussed questions from those two things. Okay, from cylinders, we haven't discussed, and some more questions are there that needed to be discussed. Okay. Also, both of you, please turn your cameras on in the class. Achha. Arhan, what about you? Turn your cameras on in the class. Mm-hmm. Okay. By the way, the last question which we did in the previous class, Arhan, it was question number 15, I think. Yes. Yeah. I guess I'm audible to both of you. Yes. Hello. Hmm. Last question which we did, it was from exercise 21.4, and we did. I think it was question number 14, I guess. Okay. So we will be starting from these questions here, and then we will move on to the next exercise and take some question from this exercise also, exercise 22.2, and then we will be basically continuing with the chapter, that is square and square roots. Okay, anyone has any questions, any doubts?
No, sir.
Yeah, Arhan. Yes. Okay, you are not you are not audible.